वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। यत्कृपालेशमात्रेण पुमान् पूर्णः प्रजायते तं वन्दे ब्रह्मविद्धुर्यं सद्गुरुं चन्द्रशेखरम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरम्
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्।
पठन्तु शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान्
पठन्तु शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान्
कुर्वन्तु कर्माणि भजन्तु देवताः
कुर्वन्तु
कुर्वन्तु
कर्माणि
कर्माणि
भजन्तु
भजन्तु
देवताः।
देवताः
आत्मैक्यबोधेन विना विमुक्तिः
आत्मैक्यबोधेन
आत्मैक्यबोधेन विना
विना
विमुक्तिः
विमुक्तिः
न सिद्ध्यते ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि
न
न
न सिद्ध्यति
सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि
ब्रह्मशतान्तरेऽपि।
अमृतत्वस्य नाशास्ति भित्तेनेत्येव हि श्रुतिः
अमृतत्वस्य
अमृतत्वस्य नाशास्ति
नाशास्ति
वित्तेनेत्येव हि
वित्तेनैत्येव
श्रुतिः
हि श्रुतिः।
ब्रवीति कर्मणो मुक्तेरहेतुत्वं स्फुटं यतः
ब्रवीति
ब्रवीति
कर्मणो
कर्मणो मुक्तेरहेतुत्वं स्फुटं यतः
मुक्तेरहेतुत्वं।
अतो विमुक्त्यै प्रयतेत विद्वान्
अतो
तो
विमुक्त्यै
विमुक्त्यै
प्रयतेत
प्रयतेति
विद्वान्
विद्वान्
सन्न्यस्तभाग्यार्थसुखस्पृहः सन्
सन्न्यस्तबाह्यार्थसुखस्पृहः सन्
सुखस्पृहस्तन
सन्तं महान्तं समुपेत्य देशिकम्
सन्तं
सन्तं
महान्तं
महान्तं
समुपेत्य देशिकम्
समुपेत्य
तेनोपदिष्टार्थसमाहितात्मा
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 आत्मैक्यबोधेन विना विमुक्तिः न सिद्ध्यति अतः जीव ब्रह्म ऐक्य ज्ञानेन एव मुमुक्षूणां मोक्षसिद्धिः यतः ज्ञानेन विना मोक्षः न सिद्ध्यति अतः अतः विद्वान् विद्वान् इति युक्ते नित्यानित्यवस्तु विवेकः विवेकी प्रयतेत यत्रं कुरुत मे the person the viveki who is able to distinctly understand between the nitya vastu and anitya vastu vastu which are shashvata and vastus which are ashashvata. So shashvata ashashvata, which is shashvata, for that to know that we should know which are ashashvatas. That's why in Shastram we have the prakriya of neti, neti, na iti, not this, not this. That which changes is not shashvata, it is not permanent. That cannot enjoy permanent existence. That which changes continually, continuously or continually. Certain thing may not change continuously, but continually. May change after 100 years. Even Brahma ji, Prajapati, the Srishtikarta, he is also limited. He has got only 100 Brahma life years. It's huge, very huge compared to Manushya Janma, the years, human years. But still, even Brahmaji's lifespan also, it is limited. Parichinnam eva. So that which is parichinnam, that which is parichinnam has to be anitya. That which is limited is subject to change, subject to decay, subject to destruction. So all those are anitya. In Brahmaji, when we said, what about Swargaloka? Swargaloka also the Loka, the place which the human beings reach after Maranam. Even though in Swargaloka, a person doesn't suffer from Jara, Vyadi, etc. There is no old age, there is no disease. You will enjoy all the instruments, Indriyani, the same way as it is in the beginning. There is no growing old, there is no disease. But how long that Loka also will last? That is also subject to end. So everything subject to some end, some finish. It's going to end. Parichinnam, Anitya. The Vidwan should be able to distinctly understand. That is Vidwan. So Vidwan is Viveki. What Viveki? Atma, Anatma Viveki, Nitya, Nitya Viveki, Vastu, Avastu Viveki. Since we are talking about moksha here, therefore Vidwan is Nitya, Nitya Vastu Viveki. Before coming to Moksha Purushartha, then if the word Vidwan is used, suppose, then it means Dharma, Adharma Viveki, Dharma, Dharma Viveki. So now he is a mumukshu. Being a mumukshu is the desire to become free. He has got sincere desire, the longing to become free, because he has understood the impermanency of this jagat, this world, which includes his body, mind, sense complex. He understood that he is not going to live forever. There is a date of arrival for him to the world and date of departure also. Whoever have come so far have not continued to live, have gone, including Shankaracharya. Therefore, it is subject to change, subject to coming and going. Agama Payinaha. So therefore, all the pleasures or pain, that are also subject to coming and going. So therefore, here being a mumukshu, therefore, being a mumukshu, he has got the sincere longing for moksha, and moksha is possible only through jnanam, therefore he becomes a jignasu. Being a mumukshu, he becomes a jignasu. Moksha is only by jnanam, therefore jnanam is possible. By jnanam only moksha is possible. Therefore, from being a desirer of moksha, he becomes a desire of knowledge. Now, before becoming desire of knowledge, as I said, he was a desire of moksha, and before becoming the desire of moksha, he was the desirer of what? Nobody is a born mumukshu. Nobody is born with the intense desire for moksha. Be born with lots of desires. The desires are due to ajnanam. So we are all born with the ignorance capital. Ignorance is the capital with which we are born. And the ignorance drives us into other purushartha. The other purusharthas are dharma, artha, kama. Artha, kama, and dharma. Artha purushartha, artha is security. Artha meaning wealth. Artha, the word has got many meanings. Artha can mean wealth. Artha can mean prayojanam, usefulness, utility. Artha can be the very human goals. Purushartha. This is what Purushartha we say. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Purushaihi artyate prartyate iti purushartha. Purushanam artha. So artha can mean that which, gaining that which gives security. Therefore, there is a attempt to gain artha so that we feel secure. Search for security and gaining that. Search for security, that is in the form of wealth, in the form of assets, in the form of real estates, in the form of anything, that which gives us, even emotional relationships. Relationship also a form of artha. We want to be emotionally secure. We want to be physically secure. Therefore, we want to be free from diseases. That is also seeking security. Seeking security. Artha Purushartha. First is Artha Purushartha. Seeking security in terms of food. Food is required. Food, without food, we cannot survive. And dress, clothes, a roof above the head. This starts with the basic needs. So once basic needs are fulfilled, then desires. Then there is desire to be comfort. That is kama. Desire for happiness. Desire for sukham. So all the beings, they work only for this artha and kama. All the beings, including human beings. But human beings are different in that sense. They are supposed to. Should use the word supposed to. They're supposed to pursue artha kama. Why artha kama? Because not all are born mukshus. If you are born mukshus from the childhood onwards, you would have been working for moksha. We would have searched for some guru and we would have ended up in some ashram, the childhood itself. Not all are born mukshus. We grow to be a mukshu by gaining experience and knowledge, discovering so many things. So therefore, artha and kama, these are the two important purusharthas, which is common for all beings. And it means it includes human beings also. The only difference is human beings have got buddhi. They have got the capacity to weigh and understand that pursuit of artha kama should not be at the expense of others, meaning should not be adharmika, should not be at the expense of others. Such is dharma. Dharma, again, dharma, the word has got many meanings. Contextual, we have to take. Dharma means that by which a thing exists. That is dharma, the substance of a thing. That is his dharma. Tattvam, tat, atma is dharma. Sat, dharma. That is total, that meaning. Or dharma can mean duties, responsibilities. Swadharmaha, we say. Swadharmaha, samanya dharmaha, vishesha dharmaha. Dharma in keeping with one's varna and ashrama, keeping with one's life stage, whichever stage he is in. Or vishesha dharma. Dharma, the duty which have to be performed at some special occasion, call for some duty, special occasion, vishesha dharma. That is duties and responsibilities. Or dharma could mean values, speaking the truth, not hurting others. Ahimsa, paramo dharmaha, we say. It is a dharma, ahimsa, foremost dharma for a sannyasi. Kashaya Vastra indicates that. I am not a threat to anyone. Dharma, paramo dharmaha. So values. And dharma also can mean punyam. Dharma is punyam. Dharma cannot be seen. Punyam cannot be seen. Then how do we acknowledge, how do we accept dharma is, punyam is? Shastram is the pramanam. Shastram says, therefore we have to accept, because we accept Shastram as the pramanam. Shat pramanani. Vedantins accept 6 pramanas. One of them is Shastra pramanam, Shabda pramanam. In fact, that is a pramanam by which Brahmagyanam is gained and moksha is possible. By other pramanams, it is not possible. But we accept all the six pramanams. Six pramanams are pramanam. We accept, Vedantins accept. So punyam is subject matter of shastra. Punyam is not pratyaksha brahma. You cannot see with your eyes. You cannot touch. You cannot smell. Punyam means, what is punyam? That is the action what we have done. Good action. Good karma. The result of that also will be good. So, therefore, punya karma results in punya palam. The action which produces a result in the form of a situation, in the form of gaining a thing which is favorable, which is conducive. That is called punya. Papa karma is opposite. The situations we face in life that are not favorable, not desirable, because of papa. We have to account for papa only. Some papa we have committed, therefore we suffer. We cannot account others. It is only purely due to me alone. Due to me alone, I suffer. Others cannot be the cause. Therefore, punya and papa. If we gain more punya, then you become eligible for Swarga Loka after Maranam. And since punya is earned, therefore it is limited. Therefore, Swarga Loka also limited. That is the time period during which you can spend enjoy your time in Swarga Loka. That is limited. It is parichana because you have got punya which is limited. With limited cash, how many things you can buy? Limited things only. So when the punya is exhausted, then you have to return back. So therefore, we say that is also not shashvatam. That is why we say it is not permanent. So the point is, so dharma, artha, kama, the three purusharthas also there. It's all understood. We know there is four purusharthas, and moksha is the parama purushartha. Now, moksha is the parama purushartha. Do all work for moksha? No. Or do all interested in moksha? No. But all must be committed to following dharma in pursuing artha and kama. Then only the society will be in harmony. So another definition for dharma is harmony. Search for security, search for pleasure is not a dosha. It's not a papa. In fact, Shastram permits the entire Veda. If you see, the Vedanta is a small portion. That is the last portion of the Veda. Whereas 3/4 of the Veda is only deals with karma and upasana. Why karma? By karma, you can fulfill your desires. You can gain what you want by following the karma as given in the Veda. So there are karma which are given in the Veda and following which, depending on what you want, you can choose karma, following which you get the end. The desired end you can get. So therefore, it means Veda sanctions desires. Desires are not harmful. Desires are not papa. Therefore, karmas are there, various karma. Therefore, one can do. So therefore, artharthi, the one who seeks artha, and kamarthi, one who seeks kama, whoever it may be, should be a dharmarthi, should be a rational, sensitive being. Dharma, that is dharma. Now, when the person is interested only in artha and kama, and it is not a papa, as long as it is in keeping with dharma, and the person not interested in moksha. The person is a dharmika, is a bhaktiman, but is not interested in moksha. That's fine. He's interested in dharma, is interested in gaining material things. Nothing wrong. For that's why gives Veda prescribes various rituals, vasana, meditations, etc. for those people. So therefore, Shankara Bhagavad Pada also, in addition to writing commentary on Bhashyas, on Upanishads, in addition to writing Prakarana Grantha on Vedanta, he had written so many shlokas and stotras. Why did he write? Because he knows all are not ready for this jnanam of non-duality, Advaita jnanam. Advaita jnanam is not easy. Advaitam is non-duality. That is, Bhaktaha and Bhagavan. There is no difference. Bhaktaha and Bhagavan. There is no Veda, Avedaha. So what is there is only me, I alone. This is not easy for all the people. They have not yet matured, they have not yet got the maturity to arrive at acknowledging the truth which is revealed by the Upanishad. That's why it is at the end portion. It is to be followed after the person goes through the lifestyle of Grastha Ashrama, Brahmacharya, Grastha Ashrama, Vanaprastha, and then in Sannyasa Ashrama only there is pursuit of Vedanta. Being a Grastha Ashrami, say for example, how can a person live without having money, without having desires, as long as they are not in adharma? It is fine. The person has to earn money for the security of himself and the family. And of course, the person must have desires. Without desire, how will he live also? So desires natural will be there. Not desires are imposed. Naturally, desires will be there. Then how will he fulfill those desires? If Advaita is the only truth, yes, of course, Advaita is the truth. Advaitam Satyam. But the person is not ready for it. So for such people only, Bhagavad Pada had written many stotras, shlokas, etc., the sadhana of which will give the end, whatever they ask for, desire they have, that will be fulfilled. That is why in the Sankalpa we say, Mamopartha Samasta Durita Kshedvara Sri Parameshwara Prityartham. Even though we say Chaturvida Pala Purushartha Siddhyartham, Chaturvida is four Purushartha, but Moksha Purushartha not immediately, because I am not ready for it. If moksha is only required, then Ishvara Prityartham, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Aham Karma Karishe should say. But we don't say that. We don't dismiss moksha also. For moksha, I have to become ready. Not yet ready now. In course of time, hopefully I'll be ready. But this karma I am doing for the sake of whatever may be that. Whatever may be the sankalpa, the desire. Sarvarishta nivrityartham, Shanti Prapatyartham, Shigrameva Vivaga Siddhyartham, etc. All those things we give. Arogya Siddhyartham, Ayushya Dirga, Arogya Siddhyartham. So therefore, karma and all these shlokas, mantras, etc., all these are sanctioned by the Veda. It is not against Advaita. Advaita is the truth. Advaita is the end. And these are all the preparatory means. So you cannot, as Swami Vivekananda says, spirituality is not for the starving stomach. So unless these are fulfilled, relatively fulfilled, if the person has not gained the relative sense of peace, security, relative sense of fulfillment, relative sense of that happiness, it cannot come to Vedanta, it cannot come to Advaita. The person therefore must relatively enjoy this. How is it possible? By karma, by upasana, by meditation, by parayana, by puja, etc. That is why Bhagavad Pada also has written so many texts and stotras. Doesn't he know Advaita is the truth? If he teaches only Advaita, then how many will be interested in listening to it? Always mumukshus will be less in the world. Manushyanam kaschit yatati siddhaye. Manushyanam, among the human beings, only few people work for moksha, not all. Only few people are interested in moksha. They work for moksha. Among them also, only few will gain moksha also. Manushyana, that's a Sagasreshu. Among the thousands of beings, human beings, do all work for, all are interested in moksha? No. Only few are interested in moksha. That's why Manushyanam Sagasreshu. Kaschit, some people, they make effort. Dhiraha, make effort. Among them also, Yatatamapi Siddhanam, Kaschin Mam, Veti Tatvatha. Among those people also who really work, so a rare person alone knows me. Who is a rare person? That is listed in the second shloka in Vivekachudamani. Having got Manushya Janma and Pumstvam, Tasma Dharma Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata, Vidvattam Asmat Param, all those things. Only a rare person. So this is the reason why Bhagavad Pada had written so many other texts apart from Prakarana Grantha, Vedanta Prakarana Grantha, Bhashyam, etc. Now, why I say this? What is the need for this? Because somebody asked me this question. I told I will explain in the class. So that's why taking this as an opportunity to explain. And even Bhagavad Pada, if you have heard the name in his Ashtotra, Namavali is there. Shanmata Stapakacharya Yarmaha. What is the Shanmata? Shan is six mata. Shaivam cha Vaishnavam Shaktam Sauram Vainayakam Tatha Skantam cha Bhakti Margasya Darshanani Shadevahi. That is a beautiful shloka. That is Shaivam, followers of Shiva. Shaiva Mata is Vaishnava, similarly Vishnu, followers of Vishnu. Shaktam, Devi Upasakas. They call Shakta. Sauraha, worshippers of Surya. Vainayakam, Ganapatyam it is, worshippers of Ganapati. Then Skandam, worshippers of Lord Muruga. These are Shanmata Darshana. So depending on one's love, one taste for the love for the, or one attraction for the particular form of the god or goddess, one can choose and have some emotional connection with the deity. That emotional connection serves two purposes. One is you become emotionally strong. That is, you don't have to depend on any human beings. You can be completely rely on Bhagavan, emotional support, strong psychological emotional support. Another thing is, of course, being pleased with your bhakti, that deity, that devata will bless you with what you want. That devata, in fact, will bless you with the maturity required for moksha. Maturity is required. You have to be a qualified person. That we have to ask. That we have to ask for. Give me that maturity. Anayasena varanam vinadainyena jivanam. Degi me kripaya shambho tvai bhaktim achanchalam. Give me bhakti. Achanchala bhakti. Achanchala dhrida bhakti. Give me. We should ask for that. This is a good prayer that everybody should Chant anayasena maranam. A death without any trouble, without any difficulty. A peaceful death. Vinadhenena jivanam, life without any struggle for money. I mean, any struggle for money is need of, that is poverty. That is, we should have enough to lead a decent life, not luxurious life. Then Achanchala Bhakti and to the feet of the Lord. So this is a prayer. So therefore, there is no contradiction in chanting shlokas or stotras, parayanam of all these, Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam, whatever it is. All these, in fact, that makes a person spiritual. Starts with the religious life, but the end is spiritual, becomes spiritual. Understands the fact that later when he becomes mature, that whom I worship is not different from me. There is Abhedaha. It is me alone. In fact, further Vedanta text, if we study in Vichara Sagara, see, when any Vedanta text begins with a prayer to the Lord. In fact, this Vivekachudamani also, Govindam. The word Govindam can be, we saw, interpreted. Either it could be Mahavishnu or it could be Acharya, possible. Any Vedanta text, any text, not only Vedanta, begins with a prayer to the Lord. Even we begin the class with prayer to Ganapati. And some granthas are there, begins with a prayer. And the prayer is in the form of doing namaskara to the Ishta Devata. There are other types of prayer also, Vastu Nirdesha Rupa Namaskaraha, Guru Namaskaraha, all this. So therefore there is Namaskara, a salutation offered to the Devata, to Ishta Devata. In Vedanta text, some Vedanta text, Namaskara is offered to oneself, not to any Devata. Aghyam Namaha. Aghyam is to me. I offer Namaskara to me. It means what? I am the Lord. I am the Lord. I am the Jagat Karanam Brahma. Therefore, I do Namaskar. It is not out of ego. It is not that person, I mean, the author doesn't know the fact. He knows that that is not a small I. The I which encompasses everything, the entire Jagat, includes all the beings. That I, which is all pervading, like the space, all pervading, not limited. It is Purnam, complete. That I has to be Bhagavan. Therefore, I am not different from the Lord, who is the creator of this Jagat. To that I offer Namaskara, Maghyam Namaha, not Ganapate Namaha, not Shivaya Namaha, not Shakti Namaha. Maghyam Namaha, Namaskara to myself. How many can say, offer Namaskara to oneself, or ready for it, in fact? No. That is why we require a prop in the beginning, in the form of some Devata, Ishta Devata. Some Ishta Devata, all these are some, the beginning prop. Later it has to be dropped. It has to culminate in you. Therefore, there is no contradiction. Bhagavad Pada had written both, caters to the different people, different needs of the people, the different people. Therefore, there is no contradiction. Okay. Now, continuing. So, therefore, now this Vidwan is one who has passed through all this. Now he is ready for Jnanam. Is ready for Jnanam. Being Jignasu, ready for Jnanam. Therefore, being a Mumukshu, Jignasu, now ready for Jnanam. How do you know? Because he approaches the teacher. And also, he is endowed with the sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, that vairagya, it is indicated by sanyasta bhagyartha sukasprahastan. He has given up the desire for the pleasures of the external objects, which we saw that it's a compound, that word. That word describing the Vidwan, Viveki. And he approaches Santam Hantam, Samyak Upetya. Samyak is approaching as per the protocol, not calling over a phone or not, you know, is not approaching in a arrogant manner. So with bhakti, shraddha, etc., all that sam is very important. Sam and upa, samipe, etya, gatva, approaching. The protocol is important. The teacher will evaluate the maturity of the student to receive and to retain. If it is not, he will send them back. That is why in stories and all we hear. In Prashnopanishad, 6 students approached the teacher Pipalada. And they're all intelligent students. They all ask, each one of them ask one question, 6 questions. That forms the entire Upanishad. But when they approach a teacher, before they ask question, Guru tells you work for 1 year. And after 1 year, you can ask me question. And if I know, I will answer. Provided I know, I will answer. I cannot guarantee I will answer all the questions, your questions. If I know, and they work for 1 year, at the end they ask question, Guru answer. That is the Upanishad. So therefore, Samapetya, the word is important. All these indicate that the student must have Shraddha and should be humble enough and should have the capacity to receive and retain all this. Without that, the teaching will not penetrate the mind of the student. It will pass through the hole. It will drain down. It will be just academic knowledge, increasing the ego already, which is there. Already due to other knowledges, the ego what we have. This also will become one more knowledge, increasing the ego. So therefore, these are important. The same Upanishad Vedanta as a Darshana, it is taught in philosophy, BA philosophy, MA philosophy, the same thing. But or all day Muksha or Jigyasus, no. It is a part of a curriculum, academic study. But in the Gurukulam, when the same thing is studied, that is different. The protocol is different. The approach is different. The intensity with which is study or the sincerity with which study, the commitment, it is different, both on the sides of the teacher as well as the students. So therefore, because it is about the pursuit for only jnanam, for moksha, not for earning a degree and to earn money. So therefore, keeping that in mind, therefore here the student approaches the teacher Deshikam. Tena by the teacher, Tena referring to Deshikena Acharyena. Who is the Acharya? Deshikam is Acharya. Achinoti yash shastrarthan acharya stapayatyapi swayam acharete yascha tam acharyam prachakshate iti. So the one who the clearly analyzes the meaning of the Shastra, Arevati Tatparya of the Shastra, by analyzing. And as per the Shastra, he conducts himself. And he also makes the students follow. That person is the Acharya iti. Therefore, Acharya. Acharya, when we say Shankaracharya, because for us, Acharya is Shankaracharya. For all, Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha. Acharya Shankaracharya Santame Janma Janmani. So, Shastram, when we say that is Sharira Mimamsa. What Sharira Mimamsa? Brahma Sutra. Shastram, if you say that is Brahma Sutra. Ishvara, when you say it is Parameshwara. Acharya, when you say who is the Acharya? Shankaracharya eva Janma Janmani Santu. in all the Janma. So that's Shankaracharya. So, and that Shankaracharya here he says, Tena Acharyena, or maybe Acharya, Upadishtartha Samahitatma, Upadishta, that Upadesha, which is given in the meaning of which Samyak Agita Atma, the one whose Atma Antakarnam is well rooted, established, that person. May the person get established in this knowledge. Okay, now the meaning we have already seen of the Vyakhyanam. Vidvaniti Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveki Katitaha. It is Acharya here says, who is that Vidwan? He is a Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveki. Vivekin Shabda, Nakaranta Shabda. Nityascha Anityascha Nitya Nityau. Nitya Nitya Vastu Nam Vivekaha Yasya Asti Iti Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveki. So by the word Vidwan, the Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveki is referred to, talked about. The one who has the Viveka, that discernment, that distinctive knowledge of Nitya Vastu and Anitya Vastu, that is Viveki. And Gita also says Bhagavad Pada, here the Acharya, the Vyakhyanam, which is Vyakhyanacharya, the Shantachekhar Bharati, Tirtha Mahaswamigal is, he quotes from the Gita. Yegi sansparashaja bhoga dukkha yonaya yevate adyantavantah hunteya nateshu ramate buddha vidwan viveki, same meaning. Iti Gitasu Buddha Shabdena arthasya asya suchitatva. By the Buddha Shabda, this meaning is indicated, referred to. Suchitaha. What meaning? Ye sansparshaja bhogaha. Samsparshajat jayate, or samsparshena jayate. That which is born because of the contact of what? Contact of the sense organs with the sense objects. That bhoga, that pleasure which is born, that is the source of dukkam, dukkha yonayaha, te. So the enjoyments which is born, that pleasure which is born due to the contact of sense organs and the sense object, they are the cause for pain. Why? In the beginning, there may be pleasure, but it will end up in dukkham alone. It is not a pessimistic or something. It is a fact. Everything seems to be very fine, pleasurable in the beginning. If the person doesn't have objectivity, then he will realize later it is painful. If the person is objective, then fine. Objective means he knows it will not give me sukham forever. It will give me pain also. But forgetting that, so thinking that it is a source of pressure alone, the person pursues, then he has to suffer. But Buddha Viveki, he knows this fact. Therefore, he doesn't get entangled by this. Adyantavantaha, these Vishayas, the Bhoga Vishayas, which gives Sukham, they have a beginning and an end. Therefore, the pleasure which is born, have a beginning and end. Dukkham also. It is both Sukha as well as Dukkha. So neither of them continues forever. Sukham also is temporary, Dukkham also temporary. But most of the time, it is Dukkham and it is temporary, but it is long lasting. Sukham is only for a time being, short duration. Therefore, Kaunteya teshu bhoga vishayeshu viveki naramate. Therefore, they not interested. Ramate, ramdatu. They do not revel. They are not interested. Therefore, they are not interested in the Vishaya Sukha. Vaishayika Sukhasya anityatvam dyotagati bhagyartheti. The anitya sukham, which is anitya, which is temporary. What sukha is temporary? The sukha, the pleasure which is derived from the vishaya. Vaishayika is a tadita word. Vaishayika. So the Vaishayika Sukham, the Sukha which is derived from the Vishayas, they have the status of being Anitya, impermanent, that is indicated by Bhagyartha, external Artha, external objects, objects of the external world. Arthanam Bhagyatvena Agantukataya Sarvadikat सार्वदिकत्वा दिकत्वभावात् तत्प्रयोज्य सुख आविर्भावस्यापि तादृशत्वम् इति अर्थासार अर्थानां भाग्यत्वेन artha is the objects. Objects here we are talking about objects of enjoyment. Where are they? It is outside. Therefore, sense organs seek to have contact with the objects to derive pleasure. Pleasure arises when there is fusion of the sense objects with the sense organs. As long as this rasagulla is outside, there is no sukham, the sense object. But when it becomes one with the tongue, the mouth, then there is sukha anubhava. And this sukham is going to be temporary because bhagya vastu is agantukataya. It is of the nature of coming. It is not going to be there forever. Sarvadikatva bhava, sarvada, this is tadita word. Sarvada is avyayam. Sarvadikatva bhavat, it doesn't exist forever. Because of the status of non-existent, not existing forever, doesn't exist forever. The bhagyartha also. So even if the bhagya vastu, for example, if it gives pleasure, but it is not going to be there forever. In fact, no bhagya vastu will give pleasure forever. That one rasagulla may give, or 10. How many rasagullas will you eat? At one point, you will say enough, alam. With regard to food only, we say alam, enough. Not with regard to anything else, we don't say alam, enough. So after that, at the end of, having eaten sufficient rasagullas, then the next one we cannot take at all. We say enough. That becomes visha, in fact. It becomes visha, poison. Either we don't like or we vomit whatever we ate. So therefore, that is one thing. And also, the bhagya vastus are not there forever. Doesn't have the status of being there forever. Tat prayojya sukha avir bhavasyapi tadrisham. Similarly, when they are not there forever, therefore the pleasure, the sukha, what they give, that manifests from the object, that is also temporary only. It is also subject to arriving and departure. Agantukataya, the status of being arriving. That is the state Agantuka is coming. Agantuka is coming, arising. Otherwise, arising from that. It is not there forever because we are not going to be there forever. It is anitya. Sarvada na bhavati. So no objects are there forever and therefore no pleasure can be there forever. That is the meaning. Therefore, ataha vivekina, therefore by a viveki, purusha dhaure yena tatta spruha tyaktavya iti prayatna prakaram pratamam aha sanyasta bhagyartha sukaspragasan iti. Therefore, ataha, therefore vivekina. So ataha, therefore we can, ataha the word asmat, due to this, hence we can connect to the next word. Ataha, therefore viveki, what should do? Purusha dhaurayena. Purusha dhaurayena means the person who is has got the commitment. The clarity is the commitment, therefore that viveki, that person. So Purusha Dorayena referring to the strength. He has got the power, the strength to face things squarely. And here with here the quality Vivek is referred to. So that person, Vivekina, the Spruha, the desires. Spruha, the longing. In fact, Spruha, desire is small desires, fine. This is a longing. So longing and therefore worrying, therefore anxiety, all of those problems are there. Therefore, that Spruha, Tektavya should be given up because it will not allow you to relax. Therefore, Tektavya. When there is no relaxation, how the Shastra will enter your mind. Therefore, Tektavya. With Spruha, you cannot even attempt to know the attempt to study the Shastra will not enter. Therefore, those are all the basic. That's why we say this Vairagyamiti. Spruha Tektavya means the desire should be given up. Even in the beginning, if you don't have that much maturity to give given up, but should be given up and then bring the clarity that why should be given up. So giving up is either if you have to give up, otherwise you move away from those things, not allowing to be there in your vicinity. If you can, otherwise you move away. So Spruha Tektavya at the physical level to start with, at the mental level. So therefore Spruha Tektavya, therefore you remain untouched by all this. But it's Spruha Tektavya, these are all the foremost qualification required for an adhikari. Adhikari lacks, then jnanam will be lacking. Therefore, prayatna prakaram pratamam aha. That prayatnam pratamam aha. That is said first. Sanyasta bhagyartha sukaspragaha. Important virtue, important quality. Therefore, sanyasta, giving up all the longing for the desires of the external objects. Referring to the person here. Sanyasta bhagyata spragaha. Sanyasta bhagyata sukaspragaha. Sanyasta bhagyata sukaspragau. Sanyasta bhagyata sukaspragaha. Declinable. Bhaguvrigi samasa. And Acharya himself explains that. Bhagyascha te arthascha bhagyartaha. What is bhagyartha? Arthaha, the objects, vastus which are bhagya, which are external. Bhagyartaha. Taihi sukam. The sukam taihi, from that sukam is derived. That is bhagyartha sukam. And with regard to that sukam, tasmin spruha, vishesaptami. Tasmin spruha, icha, that longing, that is bhagyata sukha spruha. And that is given up by whom? Sanyasta yena. Saha sanyasta bhagyata sukha spruha. Bhaguriki samasa. Acharya himself gives a vigraha vakya beautifully. Yena iti aigika amushmika pala bhoga viragaha katitaha. This is how Vairagya is traditionally explained. Aigika is iha loke bhavaha aigika. In this loka. Amushmika, that loka. That loka, which loka? That loka which you want to go after Maranam, there only Sukam is there. Swarga loka it is. So therefore, Pala Bhoga is enjoyment of the results of the action, whatever you have done, that is incashable in the form of pleasures derivable from the objects of this world and the pleasures of the Swargaloka, both, viragaha, that is dispassion for them. That is what is indicated by the word sanyastabhagyartha sukaspragaha san. Tena shruti smriti ukta karmanam nishkamanushtanena nitanta nirmalikrita swantatva mukta prayam. Tena, by that, what happens? Shruti smriti yukta karmanam, the karma which is ukta, which is told in the Shruti, which is mandated by the Shruti, the karma. And that karma should be performed by karma yoga buddhya, nishkama anushtanena, not driven by kama, nishkama anushtanena. By that, what happens? Nitanta nirmalikrita swantaha. Swa antaha is antaha, inside, once inside means antakaranam. The antakaranam is nirmalikrita. Before it was not nirmala, not pure, but now it is pure because of yoga, karma yoga. Antakarna shuddhi, ragadvesha nivrittihi ityartaha. Therefore, anirmalam nirmali kritam. So, mind which is impure is rendered impure by nishkama karma anushtanena, and it is nitanta, completely. Nitanta nirmala swantaha, nirmali kritaha. Swantatvam, the status of being pure, free from impurity, totally. That is mukta prayam, that is the requisite for moksha. Antakarna shuddhi is required for moksha. Why? In that antakarna only jnana can take place. Therefore, avivekinaha vishalampatasya stitvam api durlabham iti suchayati sanniti. Avivekinaha. Avivekinaha, those who do not have viveka is avivekinaha. Vivekaha, na vivekaha, vivekaha, but viveki, na viveki, aviveki. Avivekinaha Bhagavachanam. Avivekina, avivekina Sashti Bhakti, Ekavachanam. Vishalampatasya astitvam iti durlabham iti suchayati. Avivekinaha, by Vishalampatasya, who is completely absorbed in the Vishaya, for them. Astitvam iti durlabham. That person, astitvam api durlabham iti suchayati. Why the word sun, the word is there? Because that aviveki is so much absorbed, engrossed in the Vishaya, in gaining the Vishaya and reveling the Vishaya, he forgets to, the acknowledge that he exists. He is so much engrossed in Vishaya, for him Vishaya alone exists. That is he, for him the I exist, that is not there. Vishaya exists. That's why sanniti, that word sun is there. So, astitvam durlabham. To acknowledge that I exist is difficult for the aviveki. Because for him, what exists, what is real, the Vishayas are there. That is real. That is why he is completely engrossed in Vishaya Sukham. Therefore, for the person who is engrossed in Vishaya Sukham, it is difficult to acknowledge that the existence of himself. It means paranchikani vitarnat swayam bhuku parang pashyati nantaratma. That is the meaning. Is parang pashyati is so extrovert, he refuses or forgets to acknowledge the existence of himself. See, for enjoying Vishaya Sukham, for anything for that matter, first I have to exist. I should be there. Therefore, I enjoy. In the enjoyment, I forget myself. So the enjoyment, I forget or I refuse to acknowledge the existence of myself. Who will do that? Avivekis. So here the point is so much engrossed in Vishaya. Therefore, Vishayas are real. He forgets the reality of himself, oneself, and gives so much reality to the Vishayas, and which are subject to coming and going. Therefore, that suchayati san iti. Then Acharyavan Purusho Veda, Acharya eva, Acharya hi eva, Acharya dhaiva, Acharyat ha, Acharyat, then dhaiva is that ha, then that ha is, samasa or samasa, or what sandhi is. Ha plus eva, dhaiva. Acharyat ha eva, ha is a particle, only by Acharya. Vidya vidita sadishtam prapati iti shrutehe atindriyasya atmaikasya gurum vina अधिगन्तुम् अशक्यत्वात् पूर्वोक्तरीत्या महापुरुषसंश्रयः कर्तव्यः इति आह सन्तम् इत्यादिना. The beautiful statement of the Upanishad. Acharyavan Purushaha Veda. Only that Purusha, that person who as an Acharya, the teacher, he knows. The Acharyavan Purushaha Veda. The one who has a teacher knows. So this is the person knows. When we can say, if he has a teacher, he knows. If the person says, I don't have a teacher, I know, then he doesn't know. So, because he has a teacher, he must be knowing. Only Acharyavan, the one who has got Acharya, it means he must have been, because he has got Acharya, he must have been taught by Acharya, therefore he knows. So, Acharyavan Purushaha Veda, and Acharya Deva, this Vidya, which is from the Acharya only, this knowledge which is received becomes Sapalam, that alone becomes Sadishtam Prapat, that alone becomes fruitful. If the person discovers or attempts to discover this truth by himself, that person, let him do, but we cannot accept him as our Acharya. So that knowledge which is received from Acharya, that alone will fructify. The sense meaning is it cannot go wrong because it has come from the Acharya who is in the tradition, who comes in the tradition. And because it is the Atindriya Vishaya, iti Shrutehe, Shruti says. By saying that, the Shruti wants to say that no one should attempt to pursue Shastra by oneself. That is the idea. Why? Because it is a pramanam which is outside of you. This pramanam is not the disposal of you. It is Atindriya Vishaya. Shrutehe Atindriyasya Atmaikasya Gurum Vina. Atindriyasya Atma, which is not Indriya Vishaya. In fact, all Indriyas function in the presence of Atma by the blessing of Atma. Therefore, Guru Mina Adigantam Ashakyatvad. Without Guru, it is not possible to know. Therefore, Purvoktaritya, as said before, where? Trulabam Treme Vaitata Deva Anugraha Yataka Manushyatvam Mamukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshreha, third shloka. Where Bhagavad Pada said, Purvoktaritya Mahapurusha Samshreha, contact with the Mahapurusha should be done. Itihaha Santam Ityadina. Santam is equal to Mahapurusham. Therefore, approach the Mahapurusha. Asti iti sun. What is sun? Sun means asti iti. It is sun. That asti sun onwards. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶಂಜಿ.
ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶರಣ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಹೆಜ್ಜಿ.
Dhanyavadaha. Chitraji.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't unmute myself.
Fine.
Thank you.
Divya ji asked this question.
Dhanyavad.
So for her only answer in the beginning.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah,
You
she
can-
was asking me actually. I told her. That's why I called her that day also, but she didn't want to then.
So you can ask her whether she understood.
Dhanyavad, Sharanji.
Dhanyavadaha.
Oh, she will. I'll ask.